Hello, you people of the tube of you. I'm Andy. I do piano lessons. In the before times, I used to do them at people's houses and such, but not anymore, of course. If I were doing a lesson, of course, we would start with a chat with the student about what they like and what they already know and where they're starting from and stuff. And then we would go at their pace and we would go in directions that they wanted to go in and all sorts of stuff. I can't do that here. But I can explain one or two bits and pieces. So let's go. So, the piano. The piano. Instrument of pianists. It's, there's a lot of stuff going on, isn't there, here? There's a lot of notes, in particular. More notes than most instruments have got, at least obviously. 88 of them in this case. And probably the first thing that you'll notice about a piano when you see them is that some of those notes are white and down here. And some of them are black and up there. What's the difference? Not much, actually. There's not as many black ones. That's the difference. The reality is there's no actual reason why these ones have to be black and up there and those ones have to be white and down there. There's no reason. There's not anything special about these 5 notes, or say 5 notes. I've given something away. There's nothing special about these black notes next to the white notes. In fact, let me explain this by using guitarist me. Hey, guitarist me, do you want to come and occupy that sort of area? Hooray, there maybe, because if no, there maybe, because no, there, I think it's probably more sense. I don't know. No, probably here, because there's a little. Yeah, anyway. Occupy some space on the video screen and show us what I mean by that. So here I'm going to play a bunch of notes and you're going to see that some of them are black and some of them are white, and I'm also going to play the same notes on the guitar. Watch this. What? There was no difference, was there? They were just normal, it was all just notes. Just a set of notes. Weird, isn't it? So why are they arranged like this? Why aren't they just arranged all in a row? I mean, they could be. They are on guitars. They are on plenty of instruments. Why aren't they arranged like that on the piano? So one reason, I suppose, partly is for convenience. Like, it's going to be a lot easier to find your notes if you've got some kind of pattern of things to refer to. And another reason is that it splits the 12 notes that there are, and I've given it away again, the 12 notes that there are, into a group of 5 and a group of 7. Both those groups are useful. They both are kinds of scales, both sets of notes that we like to use in music that are traditional. Not just traditional, but also they come from some pretty basic mathematics, which I did a couple of videos trying to explain, but I'm not going to go into now. Anyway, so this is the pattern. You'll see that you know the 2s and the 3s. You've got 2 black notes, then 3 black notes, 2 black notes, 3 black notes. And as I said, there are only actually 12 different note names, 12 different notes on an instrument, according to music theory. What's going on with all these 88 ones then? Well, they're just repeating. So let's say, for instance, let's find the main note that you like to find. We like to find with students at the beginning of piano lessons. That's C. If you look to a group of 2 black notes, there's a C to the left of them. And that's where you find your C. And all the C's, all the places where there's 2 black notes and there's a note to the left of them, they're all C. This one's called middle C. Got no idea why that is. And all the other notes are named for the first 7 letters of the alphabet. So you've got C, then a D, then an E, then an F, then a G, then an A, then a B, then a C. Why don't we start the scale on A instead of C? That would be more Sensible, wouldn't it? Yes, it would completely be more sensible. When have you ever known a human being to be sensible? None of this is sensible. There's going to be loads of things you're going to learn about music and what the notes are called that are not sensible. It's just the way it is. By all means, devise a new notation system. You're absolutely welcome to. Probably a good idea to get used to this one first, though. So you're finding all your C's. You might or might not, by the way, have a pedal. Behold my pedal. You can get these. This is a sustain pedal, which pianos have, like real pianos have, on the right-hand side, and digital pianos have wherever you put them on the floor. Your keyboard, if you have a keyboard, if you don't have a keyboard, good luck with this lesson. If you have a keyboard, you may or may not have a pedal, but there will probably be a socket on the back that says damper or sustain or something like that, which will be the one for this pedal. Without it, with it, basically makes the notes stay on. It makes no difference when you have a pedal on. It makes no difference whether you leave a note on or not. Whereas when you don't have the pedal, if you do have a pedal, it's a very nice way of just sort of taking a bit of pressure off yourself. You don't have to hold notes down for as long as you need them to be there. But there's also a technique involved with the pedal, which is when you have to change things. You take your foot off the pedal and then you put it back on again before you take your... There's a sort of rhythm to doing that. I don't know if you can see my knee working there. You probably can't. It's not quite good enough, is it? I need a knee cam. Sorry for coughing, I've just it's been some kind of virus going around, I gather. Anyway, I'm not just playing C, as you might have noticed. I'm playing other stuff as well, cheating. What I'm playing is a chord of C. C is my main note. C is what I call my root note, what we call my root note. Yeah. And then I can play another set of notes that sort of go with, emphasise the C, that make the C the main note, but also are a harmony to it. There's a very simple way of doing that. You start with your C, call that note 1, and then you play 3 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 3 and 5. That's your triad. And in this case it's a major triad because we're in C major, because we're playing the white notes, starting on C. That's what pianos were made for. And it's any set of these notes. So this is a C and an E and a G. So any C, an E and G will work. It doesn't have to be in that order. You can be... Right. And by all means, practice mucking around with those sort of things. We have all sorts of exercises that we do for proper piano lessons. We have these scale fingering patterns and stuff, and you have arpeggios and all that sort of thing. Some of them are very, very useful, some of them are less useful. I would suggest definitely getting a set of these notes and trying little rhythms, just trying little patterns of finger movements and trying to make it in rhythm and trying to relax. Because if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? And down here, you will tend to find that chords sound a little bit... There's too much nonsense going on. So we like to separate the notes a bit more by the time you get down to the bottom of the keyboard. This is an octave, this is just a C and another C. That's called an octave, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 8, octave. Octagon, octopus. You can also play the other notes that are in the chord down here. If you try and play them all at the same time, it gets a little bit hectic. If you leave out that 3, the E, that's called a power chord. That has an advantage that it's neither major nor minor. It's this one in the middle that makes it major. If you want to know how to make it minor, take this E and you take it down to this, what's called an E flat, the black note next to it. And you can hear the difference, can't you, between major and minor instantly. It's at this point that people often say, oh, well, the black notes are minor, the white notes are major. I'll give you an exact example. Let's take this chord of C. Let's play another chord. Let's move everything just up to a D. Let's go. Right, now we're playing a D. We're playing a chord of D. We're playing a chord of D minor. It's just how it works out. When you're playing the white notes, some of the chords you play are major, some of them are minors. One of them is neither. To make this minor chord a major, you take this F here and you turn it into the black note next to it, an F sharp, and it becomes happier and more majory. Isn't that nice? Back to the minor, down to the major of the C. Lovely. Oh, it's almost like we're writing a song somehow. It's as easy as that. Quite a lot of people that I've taught have asked me how to write a song. I've wanted lessons on how to write a song. And of course there are loads of things you can talk about that are helpful in terms of songwriting. But one thing that a lot of people seem to want is like a magic spell that makes you able to write a song. Like you could know stuff about chords, you can put some chords together, you can make some notes that sound alright, but that's not writing a song. You need to know how to write a song. There's like some special magic thing. There isn't. Just make a bunch of sounds you like and you've done it. It's a song. If you wrote a song with those two chords, that's it. Like for instance, Your Love Gets Sweeter Every Day by Finley Quay. Love gets sweeter every day. Love gets sweeter every day. Right, fine. It's done it, you've done it, you've written a song. There are, of course, all the other chords. So that's a D minor. If you just play white notes, that's what's called being diatonic, just sticking with the 7 notes in a nice major scale. There's another minor here on the E, at the 3. But here's a major on the F, and a major on the G, and then a minor on the A. And honestly, I mean, you know, all I've done is go up, moving this shape up and down, and it does feel a bit like I've done a piece of music, right? C, D, E, F, G, A. Yeah, I mean, sounds alright, doesn't it? You don't have to do anything at all there. If you doubt this, if you think that there is still some kind of thing that I'm not telling you about this song, oh god, horrible key for me, but I'm gonna have to do it because it's in white notes. Go, in your soul, wherever it goes, you have the power to know you're in the struggle, always believing, and you are gold. Right, that's a song that someone made up by going around the chords, right? And if you know this little secret that you're allowed to use the chords in different shapes, yeah, it gets a bit confusing remembering where you are and what things you've got to do. But you can get used to certain little tricks. So I might have mentioned some of these things are major, some of them are minor. Here's a major one, the C major. The other majors, again, if this is your note 1, the other majors are on 4 and 5. Right, okay. 1, 4, 5, it's known as a 3-chord trick. Loads and loads of songs do that. I mean, all the way from your nursery. Right, all the way from nursery rhymes to... Right, all sorts of songs. Anything that sounds like basic chords, probably those 3 chords. Not necessarily C, F and G, could be in a different key, but it's going to be a 1, 4, 5 in a major scale. That's the important thing. And then the other ones, these minors, live on 2 and 3 and 6, and they're secondary chords. Oh, there's primary chords, 1, 4 and 5, and secondary chords, 2 tying in nicely with the video that I haven't finished making about primary and secondary colours. Oh yeah. And the sharp-eyed among you may have noticed that that leaves a note. If there's 7 notes in a scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 7 of them, I've made chords on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. I haven't made a chord here. That's not a major or a minor. That's called a diminished chord, horror film chord. And it's the only one really where you can't resolve to it. By resolve, I mean you can't sort of finish a chord sequence, or you can't just sit on that chord. Any of these other chords, if I wanted to write a song, I just start on that chord, and that could be just where I am. Like, you know, just sit on that for as long as you want. You can sit on. And you might get bored. You might want to go somewhere. Right, fine. But this is perfectly good as home. You've established this chord as home, and you can live there. That's a minor. You could easily do it with a major, like with the C. You can definitely come back home to here. You can come back home to any of those chords. But you can't come home to here. This is never going to be home. This is always just going to be somewhere on the way to somewhere else. For instance. Makes you want to do something, doesn't it? Makes you want to... something like that. Let me show you that chord sequence. It's got a lot of chords in it, but it's got a system. And this is one of the things about music that, if you were the sort of kid that I was, who liked patterns in things, then this is what really I always loved about this sort of thing. Most musical ideas have got a lot of complicated details in them that you can reduce down to a smaller number of details. Now, I've just begun to scrape the surface of what's going on with this piano thing here. But let me show you the chord sequence of I Will Survive. Start off on the minor, the A minor, the sad kind of chord, right? Now, I want you to watch how far up I'm going. Right, so I went from an A. If that A is 1, I went to 4, right? Now I went from a D to a G, and I went down a long way there. If you went upwards, you go D to a G, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went from A to its 4th, I went from D to its 4th. Guess what I'm going to do next? Right? So instantly, that's a pattern that if you can just remember what's happening, which is you're going up 4 every time, which is the same as going down 5. 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Now, the one thing that you would need to complete your I Will Survive chord sequence is a special note that's not a white note. This E chord would have been a minor if we played it on the white notes. We're going to make it a major. And then you go back to the A. Nice, dramatic, classical kind of ending. Now, what you'll notice here is that I haven't really told you how to play any one piece of music. What I've given you maybe, especially if you go back and watch the video again, is a bunch of ideas about how you put sets of notes together. I haven't really told you how to make major and minor chords exactly. I've just told you that some of them are major and some of them are minor. I've told you you can put them together. I'm told you can use all the notes in them. What I haven't told you is that there aren't actually any rules at all. You can do anything you want. You don't have to use that. You can make this chord. That's a chord. You can do that if you want. You don't have to use any of the patterns that I've thought of. You can use sets of intertwining. There's all sorts of ways of making music. But this is one of the ways in. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And this is about the 48th take I've done of this lesson. And it's 20 minutes into it. So for now, I think this will have to do. If you want an actual lesson where we learn a specific thing and I talk to you more specifically about what you want to learn and what you're into, get in touch with me or get in touch with someone else who does lessons. There's a lot of music teachers out there who have probably lost a lot of their lessons and would love to do something using the miracle of technology, the ability that we now have to communicate using various different media at the same time. In the meantime, I just thought I'd do the bit that I forgot to do at the beginning of the video, which I was going to say, hey, when you start doing the piano, it's all really kind of intimidating. It's like, not sure where you're going. It's all a bit dark. Whoa. Got a stuck note. Got a stuck note. That's why that bit's never going to work. And then I was going to say, after that, by the end of this, you'll have a sense of achievement and it'll be like... but I didn't do that, and now it's a bit too late. Hey-ho, might as well anyway. So, that's the end of that first one. Preferably, if people ever watch this, they might ask some questions and ask me to explain something specific or go over something if there's something that I didn't do very well, because this wasn't very well planned, this video. And then I can do a video where I actually address those specific things. In the meantime, I hope you're bearing up and let's all learn how to play music so that when it's all finished, we can all go out and have the most massive gig together. That'd be good, wouldn't it? See you later.